Do you realise people are going to start thinking I'm so strange sitting in the car talking to myself every day? But anyway, hi. Welcome to day 4. So it's morning. I'm actually out in the car because I've got some things I've got to go and do. So I've just pulled over to record before my day begins. And it's another hectic day. You know, I feel like I'm going to rename this the 30-day complaining about no writing time challenge. But this is one of the things I said in an earlier video. You have to make writing a priority and make sure to touch it every day. And not necessarily every day, but every writing day. So today is a writing day. So despite running around and having so much to do, I'm still going to go and make sure that I get my hands on my manuscript. Now, I really, really, really want a 5,000 word day. I'm not sure it's going to be possible today. I've got some things going on. I'm not going to finish those till about 1 o'clock. The plan was then to be able to be at home and just to write till dinner time, and I'd get my 5,000 words. 5,000 words probably just take me a couple of hours if I'm so totally focused. But the daughter's car broke down. We're not sure what's wrong with it. She was driving down the motorway and there was like a pop, and the engine just kind of slowed her down, went strange. She had to go onto the hard shoulder, and when she stopped there was like just oil everywhere, so we had to get her recovered to back home, and she was all the way in Manchester, which was, you know, on the motorway. So we're hoping it's just a hose pipe to the oil, and we're hoping it is not that her turbo in her car has gone kaput, because obviously one's a bit more expensive. However, the car's going into the garage today, so it's got to be towed, and obviously we've got to tow her, so that's probably going to take an hour, realistically maybe 2 hours travelling time to the garage and all that stuff. So yeah, but I don't know exactly what time we're gonna do that, because she's got work in the morning. So we shall see, but it's just driving me crazy because it's like it comes in and takes my writing time. I was thinking of saying I'm not going to do any writing till 6 o'clock this evening, and then 6 till 9 is my writing time, and that gives me a nice 3 hours, and 2 hours of that to do writing, and then an hour of that to do all the other stuff I need to do, because then I can just go into the office and focus. So I might do that. I really, really would like 5,000 words. I want 3,000 minimum. I feel like I'm just constantly falling behind all the time. So today's chapter is going to be Alex's refusal to call. And I've been trying to think how to get him to refuse. So I was saying yesterday about feeling a little bit lame about having the characters called the same. I'm still not sure about that. I'm going to change Maddie's age to 9. But so he's going to go and speak to her mother and inform her mother, Madeline's mother, that, you know, she's died and this, that, and the other. Now, Madeline and her mother are estranged. Her mother's kind of like neglectful, druggy, just bad, crappy mother kind of thing. So her daughter decided to make something of herself and get away and do all that. So Alex is gonna go to the mother and do that, and I need something that's really gonna like tip him on the over the edge, where he goes, I don't want to do this case, because he's while he's back at work after his wife's death, and while he's like always been this go-getter detective because he's a DCI, he's kind of like backed away from that, just I don't know, he's kind of like not got back into himself. So I need something that kind of tips him over to the edge where he's like, I don't want to do this, somebody else needs to do this case, because I need his refusal to call, and I really need it to kind of play on his emotions. So yeah, and I've been reading crime novels just to kind of get the structure in my head properly, just to keep my brain in that kind of place. And so I've read a variety of stories. I won't tell you the names of the ones that I wasn't particularly keen on, because I don't believe in doing that to other authors. It's their work, and just because I didn't like the story doesn't mean it's a bad story. I did read one book that it was a quick book and it was an easy read, but I can't say I was particularly taken with it. We never got into the detective and his life. We never really found anything out about him. He had, children and stuff like that, but I couldn't tell you his age. I couldn't tell you anything about his family. I couldn't tell you anything other than his 3 children, that he was struggling to balance the 3 children around his job. So that was it. And the victims that died, no, sorry, the victims didn't die. The victims were kidnapped. The person that did it, there was never any reason for why it was done. So by the time I got to the end of the story, I was like, well, it was just a pointless kidnapping. Like, if you're going to kidnap a child, you've got a reason for it. And they never seemed to have one, other than they just were evil and wanted to kidnap a child. And so, yeah, so I wasn't particularly keen on that one. I've been reading J.D. Robb's series. I know it's quite an old series now. I know she's still got books coming out. J.D. Robb, if you don't know, is Nora Roberts. And so I've been reading the In Death series, and I am on the 2nd book. I'm probably about 70% into it, and there's such a difference in that. Like, her main character is Eve Dallas, and she's got a whole past. She's got a personal life. You see her with the guy she's seeing. You see her facing the wounds of her childhood. You see how parts of Casey's touch on that part of her psyche. You get to know Eve through the story and where she lives, and you see a lot of who she is as a person and a detective. And this is what I really enjoy, and I'm hoping to do with Alex by giving him, a daughter who's deaf, wife who's had cancer, having the case kind of touch on those things. I was reading another one. Oh yeah, I was reading a book by Karen Slaughter, and again, the characters have personal lives. Like, the main character in the book I'm reading is called Will Trent, and he's the main detective in it. He's been in foster care, he's been abused, he kind of has mental illness problems, attachment issues maybe is the right word. And so, in his past, there was a girl he grew up with. She was also in foster care. They got married just because they've always been together, but they're really toxic, and she's really toxic for him. There's this doctor who he's met, and he likes her, but obviously his toxic wife is, she's like the total opposite. And so while I'm getting a real good feel for the crime, you're also getting a real good feel for the characters themselves, and they feel like real people. And this is my hope with Alex. So when I say today that is his refusal to call, and I wanted to touch on his personal life, it's because I want my readers to get to know him. This is a series, and it's the first part of a series, so I want this book to have a real grounding of who he is and where he's come from and the things that have made him and affected him the way he is. That was a bit of in-depth explanation, but yeah. So, wish me luck today. Day 4, lots of toing and froing. I shall update you later on to how I get on. I'm conscious that there's no footage in between, but my house is just absolutely chaos, and you would just see a mess and it would drive you nuts. So I'm sorry they're kind of just hellos and what I did. I will try, when I'm not so hectic in the middle, to kind of give you some video and footage in the middle and some talk of how I'm going. Yeah, anyway, I'll see you later. Bye. Hello, I hope you can see me well enough in the car. I'm sorry it's a bit dark, it is late. It's 6 o'clock and I've just come out to the river to record this because, as always, my house is chaos. So I knew today was probably going to be a little bit hectic. I managed to write 3,000 words, which is amazing. I'm happy with that. They were really good, really flowing words today. And I wrote 2 chapters, and they are rough draft chapters, so I've printed them off and I've deleted all the words, which I know a lot of people think that's super scary. Tomorrow I will type those back up, and those 3,000 words hopefully will grow. I've written the chapter, so we're still kind of at the call to action phase for Alex, and he's currently getting all his questions together, viewed the body, and deciding his first courses of action. And I'll show you a book tomorrow that I'm reading, which is helping me to understand the way detectives in the UK work. And it's a really good book. I won't show you now because it's pointless. You probably won't be able to see the cover. But I'll show you tomorrow. I've been using that and it helps you on the actual procedures. So yeah, so Alex is now deciding where he's going to investigate this. And so I've taken him along to see the victim's mother and really trying to establish Maddie's character through other characters, which is a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed establishing her mother and what a horrible person she is. So yeah, so that's today. 3,000, I think it was 3,001 words, which it's not my 5,000, but it's not 0. So that'll do me. So anyway, I shall see you tomorrow. Bye.